9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Past the three-quarter pole and approaching the top of the stretch. And as they hit the top of the stretch, it's Mission Brief, foiled again, Muscle Hill, Captain Treacherous, and Vegas Vacation, Lucky Jim, a rock and roll dance, The Magician, Sebastian K approaches the line, Guccio is coming late, and as they hit the wire, it's too close to call.
Now here's North American Harness update on SRN1.
There are a couple of horses we're missing from that intro. Just judging by some of the names in there, like maybe we could throw in a credit winner or a Tagliabue, or what was the name of that horse that won the Hambletonian? He didn't win it. His name was Hambletonian. Maybe we should throw him in there as well. Nonetheless, I've been thinking a lot lately. My name being Ray Catolo, by the way, for those who are unaware, and for those just tuning in, buckle up. I've been thinking a lot lately. Mostly, there was one study I was reading online where scientists were likening cacti, because that is the plural of cactus. It's not cactuses, it's not cactoramas or anything of that nature. Cacti is the plural. Scientists were comparing cacti they were likening them to being the porcupines of the desert. And I thought that was a really interesting way to look at what is otherwise a very useless plant. All it does is just stand menacingly at you while also mocking the fact that it can survive in the desert, while you, being the puny weakling human boy or woman or girl or any sort of variation of man, which when you put it like that doesn't sound like there's many variations, but trust me, there is. When this cactus is just staring you down, it's just mocking you. It's got its hands up in the air, and it's secretly saying, "Look, buddy, I didn't choose to survive in the harshest conditions. And if you come at me, try and steal some of my juices, I'll prick you." And really, aren't we all in a way kind of cactuses? Not cactuses. Aren't we all cacti in some way? And that is the thought I want all of you listening tonight to carry in your little craniums or your big craniums. Any sized cranium is welcome here on this show. This show being North American Harness Update. That's right, a show about harness racing, if you could not tell. I am, and it will continue to be, Ray Catolo. I'm joined here, as I am each and every week, by my co-hosts, Michael J. Fox and Rodney Dangerfield, both of whom are people on this show frequently. That's why they are my co-hosts. I jest, of course. I just said their names. They're Michael Brebosi, Rod Allums Jr. Fellas, we got to go into action quick. We've got to leave orbit and enter the stratosphere. And trust, that makes total sense. I went to astronaut school. It's not the other way around. Don't Google it. Because the NAHU Pick4 at Western Fair is coming up in 12 minutes. The first leg of the NAHU Pick4, I repeat, is going in 12 minutes. So boys and girls, if there are any girls out there, open up those past performance booklets to race 7 at Western Fair. Let's get rolling into this sequence. It starts with a condition claimer, fillies and mares, $15,000. The claiming tag, a little expensive for some of these mares, but I don't judge. I only handicap, which is like judging in a way. It's just, I don't know, crueler. We got 5 horses going post-run in this race now with 2 scratches. Scratched out of here are the 2 Sports Crazy and the 5 Ideal Toy, which I'm going to send it off to Rod to start things off. For those unaware, we have a website, NAHUPicks.com. That's NAHUPICKS.com. If you go onto that website, you can find racing analysis each and every race day from tracks, including, and at this point not limited to, once the check's clear, Western Fair, Mohawk Park, Meadowlands, and Rosecroft. Rod is our resident London expert, and in this first leg, Rod, there's 5 horses. You're left with 4.
I'm left with 4 with the scratch of the 5 ideal toy, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit the all button because I'm not throwing out one horse, especially from the rail. And a night like tonight, the long shots have been winning all night long at Western Fair. So, all button for me. If you want to get into particular horses here with the scratch of the 2 and the 5, Falls Creek has been first, second, third the last 6 starts at this class level, so it's tough to not have this horse on the ticket. She could easily win this race as the favorite, but this is a very competitive group, and when you get this short field like this, it makes things a little bit tougher because there's a lot of different variables with the short field. So she's going to be the favorite. She's the one to beat, obviously, but last week the 6, Friends to the End, was absolutely flying late. I thought had no shot at the top of the stretch, was buried behind a wall of horses, flipped out 5 wide, and just rolled right by them. That race right there was very impressive, and she's capable of races like that occasionally, just has to get the right type of setup. And, you know, she always brings decent value. She's never bet down real heavy in this race. If she can work out a trip again, I think she's got a big shot at good value again. So I'm just going to hit the all button here. Nothing in particular that I'm fond of.
Mike, you're left with 3 horses due to the scratch, and with 3 of 5, that's 60%. Are you just going to bandwagon with Rod hit all?
I did, and it only really makes my ticket another $3.60. And I do like the inside 3. I think that they have the biggest advantage. The 3 kind of gets brave whenever she's on the front, and I think she could get the front in here, especially with the 1 inside. There's really no excuse not to. The 4's been good lately. Has had outside trips and has won, 2 in a row there prior to the last race and raced pretty well. And the 6 and the 7 are sharp also. So, I'll buy the race and move on.
I do not buy the race. However, I will milk the cow for free. Looking at my boy over there in the crowd. We have a crowd here tonight, by the way, for those who are wondering. And I'm going to point at them whenever I make a point. I'm 3 deep here still. I thought about going 4, but then I realized, I like having money so much that if I lose less, that means I win more. I've used the 4 Falls Creek to start out. We all talked about this one. She's been racing very well at this company in recent starts. Went first over, last out, to finish 3rd as the odds-on favorite. But the start before that, she won. The start before that one, she won. The start before that, she was 2nd. And the start before that, she was 2nd too. But if you look all the way back to January 25th, that's right, another win against this group. She's consistent against this bunch with the shortened field, at the very least. She's probably going to be coming late. And even if she could also go to the front too, it's kind of it's a hit and go kind of situation. I'm not really going to guess which one happens, but she's a contender nonetheless. Friends to the End won last week. She's going to have a little less ground to make up this week with the shortened field. However, most likely she's going to try and come from off the pace. If there is a lack of pace, as there was last week, it could definitely set up for her to win. And then So Long Sugar the Far Outside makes her 2nd start off the claim. She won her 1st start off the claim last week, moving up in class, so she jumps another peg up that ladder. From that outside post, she could certainly also show speed, gun away, and fire to winner's land. 4, 6, 7 for me in the first leg. You can also just read the board. Those are the 3 favorites. I really came up with nothing special, but the second leg, things pick up in this second leg because it's the 8th race. A $15,000 condition claimer again for Pacers. Oh, this is a great one. These are for horses that have not won $10,000 in their life. So you have only the top-notch horses congregating. That said, Rod, you're 3D.
Well, it's non-winners of $11,500 lifetime, but...
Well, with the conversion rate, go on.
Okay. I'm 3 deep here. I'm sticking inside early. The 1 Randy Cam comes off of 4 really good races. 2 back, popped with a trip, had no chance, and came 5 wide down the stretch to win. Last week, set a really good trip, just got stuck inside, raced well once again. Now gets the rail, is on the gate finally. Had the 2nd tier the last 2 starts. This one, he needs to be covered up, but he's going to be close and he's going to be in a good spot. If he shakes loose, he's got a shot to win this race. The 2 Cemetery Oaks. This is the Shepherds coming in off a good race last time from way off the pace into a pretty quick last half. Kind of just come home with them, but he raced well there. I think he's going to be closer, so you got to give him a good look, and he shouldn't be 3 deep down the backside tonight. The 6 Zoom Bayama. This would be my top pick in the race. They wrote this horse into the race. He's my top pick if there's a different driver. But the trainer is driving. I didn't see if there was a driver change or not. It's possible, and I just didn't see it yet.
No.
There's not. I'm still using the horse, though, because the horse is plenty capable. You look back, 3 starts back, in against a little bit better with Scott Young driving. He got away last from the 7-hole. He was coming. He got impeded, got knocked inside the pylons, and then came back out, finished 6th. You know, it was a pretty good race there against tougher horses. His last start against the straight non-claimers was not great, but he was in a tough spot there as well. He's going to need the race to break down up front in order to win, but if he gets him involved, I think he's got a big shot. And again, if he makes any money at all, he's out of the class. So 1, 2, 6.
Now, Mike, you're on board with the 1 and the 2, but you find the 6 preposterous.
Yeah, I think it's the inside 3. I think the 1 is the most likely winner for sure, especially with this draw now. Really no excuse. Should, sit a very similar up-close trip and, be hard to hold off. The 2 is interesting just because it's Patrick Shepard. And, he dropped. It came from the Meadows and really no chance at Flamborough 8-hole. Last time was better off a wide trip. Draws inside. He's going to be betting the race. And then the 3 Field to Burn is a closer. Again, wide trips, moves inside. Coulter's hot. I think that those are the 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm on board with the 1 and the 2 and nothing more. So we're moving on to the 3rd leg. 3rd leg is another claiming race for $15,000. These are for non-winners of $50,000 lifetime. We got 1, 2, 4, 8 horses going postward this time around. And once again, Rodney taking 3.
Yep, 3 deep here once again. Starting with the 2 Sly Baron. Great form his last 4 starts. He's right there every single week. And his last 2 at London were both pretty good. Last week, the horse that was coming first over made a break and kind of got into all the outside horses there. He was impeded, had to go 3 deep to get around him. He raced pretty well there. He wasn't full of pace or anything like that, but he did have a little bit of go late, so I'm going to give him another shot from the inside. He should be in a good spot here. The 3 Rasmus, there's not really much to say about this one. He's going to the front, and he's been 1st or 2nd in his last 6 starts. So hard to fault what he's doing right now. He's racing very well. And then the other one, who I've been singling just about every week, and somehow this horse keeps going off at like 9 to 5, 2 to 1. I don't know how. Blue Moose, the 6. He was 2nd over last week, got impeded, flipped 3 deep. He actually lost some momentum from that and still ended up winning the race pretty handily. So he's a must-use once again. Winner of 3 of his last 4. I'm not throwing him out. But I'm not going to single him this week just because of this draw. So I'm 2, 3, 6.
Mike, you have the 3 and the 6, but why no 2?
The 2's had trouble beating these 2 horses the last 2 races, despite some trips. I just think that the 3 and the 6 are the best, and they're going to be difficult to beat. The 3 should get another good trip similar to 2 back, especially drawn inside compared to the 6. The 6 is always kind of at the mercy of how the race sets up, and the 1 I think is very dangerous and interesting, but I don't like the morning line. I think that the horse has trouble maybe on a half too, and that's a problem. So I'm 3-6 there, and I think it's just those 2. I don't see anything else beating them.
I agree with Rasmus. I definitely use him for his gate speed and the fact that he could easily clear the inside too and just try and take the field gate to wire. The 6 has had trouble in the past from outside posts. He definitely is one that needs to be dragged into the race, and if that does not happen, he's not necessarily going to be a happy boy. So that said, with that outside draw, I don't use the 6. I do use Rasmus. I try Sly Baron on the post switch. He draws a bit more inside after 2 starts back, going wide, finishing 3rd, last out, going even wider, finishing 3rd. Maybe this guy tries to sit a more conservative trip from the inside and just try and in the last moments to get up late, save a little bit of energy, have a bit more late. Certainly possible he could get up at the wire. How Mac Diamond, though, I agree, is interesting. I almost didn't use, but because it's a Patrick Shepard claim, I almost kind of just used reflexively. Not shipping from Flamborough. This horse was claimed at London and broke in London, but maybe in the new barn potentially turns around. His race against Nars of 50,000 back on February 11th was decent. This time around, he's going up against the horses that are up for sale, so maybe on the class drop, he shows a bit more than he did on that effort February 11th, especially from the inside draw. I'm going to take a shot with the new barn. 1, 2, 3 for me, the inside 3 in the 3rd leg, which only means one thing. The 4th leg is up next, and that race is a $20,000 trot going an added distance of 1 mile and 1/16 miles, adding up to 1 1/16 miles. Rod, of all of those miles, how many horses do you think can go the miles?
3 deep here as well. The one possible credit has been racing pretty well. Consistent type. You know, this one is solid where he doesn't she doesn't make any breaks. Draws the rail now. Should get away fairly close and be put in play. You're not going to get that type of value that you're seeing from the last couple starts, but this is a class drop, a must play for me on that class drop, and is like, if you get somewhere around morning line odds on this horse, bet, because this horse is worth every penny at right around 7-2. The 8, however you say the horse's name, Cuts, Butts, Nuts. This horse is very sharp right now. Has a win, 2nd and 3rd last 3 starts. Alfie Carroll jumps back on the drive. The last time he drove 3 starts back, the horse made a break, recovered, and then came back to finish 2nd. That was a big race there. If he's flat, he's got a shot, and he starts in the 2nd tier right behind my top choice in the 1. The 9, Windsong Ophelia, broke in her last start over at Flamborough, but you look back toward the London lines before that qualifier, racing against similar. This horse had 2 straight wins in the non-winners of 10 and 15,000. Reeled off 3 wins in a row before that 6 scratch 2 lines down. Horse is sharp, just needs to work out a trip, and if the horse is flat, I think this horse is probably the biggest value play in the race. You got 6-1 morning line. I think this horse should be like 3-1 morning line. So 1, 8, 9.
Mike, I see a 1 and a 9, but you're gonna add a little taste of 3.
Yeah, I agree on the 1. That horse has faced a couple of tough ones there. Kimco Kid, AJ Cash, a couple of times in a row. Draws well. It could be her time to win there. The 3, I think, need juice. Fast Glider, blowout win last time. Really never looked like a loser there. Draws well again. If this horse stays flat, should be up front with, the horses inside, likely sitting. I would think controls the race. And then agree on the 9, Windsong Ophelia. Just pitched that 7-hole Flamborough last time. Those 2 races, prior to that are solid enough. And I think the horse contends if right. So 1, 3, 9.
2 minutes to go. I'm 1, 3, 8, 9. That's right, 4 deep in the 4th leg. What kind of witchcraft do you say? The kind placed on me by an old woman named Evelyn that may or may not send me straight to hell. Here's my ticket for 20 cents. I'm 4, 6, 7 with 1, 2, with 1, 2, 3, with 1, 3, 8, 9. $14.40 for 20 cents. Mike, your ticket.
Mine's a little different than what we have posted, but I have all with 1, 2, 3, with 3, 6, with 1, 3, 9. It's 18. I punched it a couple times.
Rodney.
All with 1, 2, 6, with 236 with 189. It's $27. Bang bang.
All right, 1 minute 15 to go here until the first leg of the NAHU Pick 4. Now, what's great with that name is it's a play on words. Our website is NAHU Picks, and the bet is the Pick 4. So naturally, you put the two together, and it's like a fetus exiting the womb. Just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Have you ever seen that?
Glistening. I was one at some
That
point.
doesn't mean you've seen it.
But I experienced it, and I felt wonderful. It was really cramped in there, especially. My mom, I couldn't afford the rent in my mom's deluxe uterus, so they put me in a single. Okay, 35 seconds to
I think
go.
that trend's continued over the years.
Her uterus just turned into a one-bedroom apartment. 6-5 on So Long Sugar. 2-1 on Falls Creek. And 5-2 on the 6 Friends to the End. It's a 5-horse field, Rod. Do you find it hard to find a bet in this race, or would you just be looking to bet horizontals?
In a race like this, when you get the short fields, it kind of scatters a viewpoint of bet the longest shot in the race. Just because it's a short field, it adds value to the likely favorite, who might be even money with the 7-horse field. But with the 5-horse field, people are going to look elsewhere to try to get some decent value. So for me, I wouldn't be making win bets or trifecta bets just because of the short field here.
I bet the 3, 7-2. I think that's very good value, and a horse is going to get the front.
7-2 value on Largent Legacy, according to Michael J. Prebosi, as this field of 5 for the opening leg of the NAHU Pick 4 spins into the stretch. They're in motion at the start, and now away in the 7th. Lady Oxford to the inside, protecting the pylon position. She's going to take the lead. Entering that first turn, sitting Largent Legacy then into the pocket as Falls Creek, the favorite, floated away third, about 3.5 lengths off the leader. Then a gap of about 2 1/4 back to Friends to the End, who has So Long Sugar beaten, as this 5-horse field is spread out by about 7 lengths, with Lady Oxford leading the way. 10-1 long shot. Lady Oxford, as opposed to the 10-1 favorite, takes them by to the opening quarter in 28-4, while Largent Legacy, intent to sit that pocket spot, tightens a touch, only a 1.5 lengths away now. Falls Creek riding Stewart's helmet from third as they go into the stretch for the first time. No movement yet after the leader. Friends to the End remains fourth towards the end of the field. So Long Sugar caps out the quintet, who marched past the half in 59-2, 30-3 for that second quarter. Largent Legacy has ideas to edge out, and she's now going to pull pocket to the backstretch, prompting Falls Creek to catch that cover, but she's gapped out 3 as Largent Legacy engages with Lady Oxford towards 3/4. These two now in tandem midway down the backstretch as Falls Creek chases from third. 3 wide from the back comes So Long Sugar, with Friends to the End sticking towards the rail. 1:28-3 for the 3/4 time. Advantage belongs still to Lady Oxford. Largent Legacy still a neck away to the outside as the backfield looms closer. Falls Creek 3 high. So Long Sugar 4 wide, and Friends to the End looking for room to dive to the inside. Lady Oxford enveloped. Here's Falls Creek to the outside, deeper on the track. So Long Sugar, but Falls Creek is going to blow by them all and hold on to win. So Long Sugar took second from Friends to the End, up the inside for third. All right, we all get the favorite. 6-5 shot kicks off the NAHU Pick 4. Falls Creek, who looked like she had nothing around the final turn, had the 2 leaders just come back to her.
Yeah, they went quick enough up front.
That's true, considering the last
Have
time.
they been closing all night there, Rod, like that? Because the front end looked pretty bad.
Well, it was the worst horse in the race on the lead. Let's be honest.
That's true.
But no, the track's been playing very fair. There's been winners. There was a 15-1 winner on the front end earlier. There was 25-1 from dead last earlier. So the track's playing fair.
Okay.
Whoa. I must have missed something, because the 6th race of the Meadowlands had a $170 winner in Explosive Rage. That horse nowhere on my write-up. But then again, I mean, let's be honest. How could no one have this horse who in his last 4 starts, because we're going to be shifting gears to the Meadowlands, Explosive Ridge paying $170. How could no one have this horse who in his last 4 starts lost by a combined 37 lengths? I mean, come on, he's so obvious. He's obvious. How does no one have him? Incredible. The 8th race, though, at the Meadowlands kicks off their pick 4, as we are going to travel across the river. And by the river, I mean from the Canadian border to America land of the USA, Southern America, North America country on the continent. You look at a map, that's exactly what it says, because the 8th race comes up after the 7th. The 7th coming up now. Are you following me? You better be, because I'm being as clear as possible. I'm just speaking very quickly to make it more confusing. The 8th race starts the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4 at the Meadowlands. First leg of this sequence, now it's $12,000 in their last 5. It's a trot. Now, one thing you're going to be able to tell from our tickets is that I went cheap, but I mean, what else is new? I have a bit more of a concise idea. Mike and Rod, you both believe this could be bombs away, and considering that $170 horse came in that last race, I could probably be dead wrong, and you guys could somehow snag what could potentially be a $10 billion pick 4. That's assuming they handle that much. But this 8th race, kind of mid-level condition trot. I'm going to start it off with you, Mike, because you're going fairly deep, but there's a strategy to your deepness. You take the inside 5.
Yeah, just because I'm more against the outside horses. You know, if you look at the outside horses in this race, like the 10 Now's the Moment had a stone cold perfect trip last time in a race that, you know, he was supposed to win on February 22nd. So he's missed some time. He's not going to get a perfect trip this time. This is a tougher race and draws horrible. I feel like the 9 also is very underlaid on the morning line. You know, off that last race where it didn't really offer much and was 7-1, 0 for 7 this year. So let's talk about the ones that I do like, and that's the inside 5. I think Shade McCoy is interesting at this level, always involved, draws well, no chance last time. You know, is capable at a big price. He's going to be ignored with that driver. I think that one needs used. The 2 Attaboy Hanover comes off 2 qualifiers, you know, both with nice finishing kicks. Won 6 out of 17 last year. Callahan's been hot recently. I think that horse is worth the use. The 3 Arrakis, Yannick is back. 2 stone cold outside draws last 2 races. No chance either one, but still got checks. Prior to that, when this horse was drawing inside, was finishing better. Yannick sticks. I like Osceola anywhere, so I'll use that one. The 4 Fashion Creditor has a ton of class, over 500,000, gets Lasix, qualified okay, kicked 27 and 3. You know, this is an open horse basically racing in a you know, condition race, and if ready, Marcus is on, so I'll use that one. And then the 5 Zlatan steps up off a win, loses Yannick, but you know, is racing well enough, was 8-1 against Now's the Moment in that February 22nd race. So that tells me this horse fits at this level. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Those are the 5 horses. If you could not tell by Mike counting up to 5, he wasn't doing that for himself. He can count up to 20 if he wanted to. It's just he doesn't have the time. Rod, on the other hand, you're 5 deep in this race as well, but you just couldn't take the same 5 horses as Mike. It's personal, right? It's a personal thing.
No, not really. I am 5 deep though. The 1 Shady McCoy, I love this horse. He's a grinder. This class might be just a little bit over his head, but he gets the rail. He should be sitting up close, and he just needs a trip to be able to beat these horses. For a non-winners of 12,000, this is a pretty weak bunch, I think, and he fits in here well. So from the rail, I'm going to use him as the price play. The 3 Arrakis, much better draw this week. Had 9 and 10 last 2 starts. Yannick stays on. He's been close. I think he's probably going to take some money here. My opinion, he's probably going to be the favorite. The 6 Osvaldo Blue Chip. This is second start back after about a 7-week layoff. The qualifier at the Meadowlands was really, really good. And then he missed 2.5 weeks, went over to Yonkers last week, and now there's a 20,000, which are tougher than these. He didn't do any good over there, so they brought him back over to the Meadowlands. He fits well here. He's if you look down 5 lines down, he finished second here at the Meadowlands December 21st against numbers of 15,000 and went in 53 in a piece. This horse fits here perfectly. He should get a nice setup following some cover. Look for this horse at a price. The 9 Battle Mage. Is that how you say it? Mage?
Battle Mage.
Mage.
You ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
You ever play Final Fantasy?
7.
Mage is a battle class.
I don't remember that. That was 20 years ago.
It's the clan member who can shoot fire.
Why are we talking about the KKK?
Well, it's because they wear the mages in that game have the sheet cloaks. They have cloaks on.
Anyways,
the best image, unfortunately, for non-nerds like you. I never do know your southern roots, but go on.
Anyway, the 9 Battle Mage has early speed. Will likely use that early speed. Andy Miller stays on. He's dropping. This horse racing in the open ranks over at Dover. Came here last week to the Meadowlands. Dropped to the 9 of 15,000. Raced pretty well. Another slight drop here. Tough draw though. I'm going to use him. I don't like the morning line price. I think you're probably going to get around 5 to 1 on him from out here. And then the 10. Now's the moment. Another one, tough draw, but he's coming in good form. You got to like that. He's got early speed. If Anthony Napolitano can get him off the gate well and he stays flat, he's got a shot to win this race. And, he's going to take money, but I think he should take some money the way he's been racing the last 2 starts. So he's a must-use for me, even from post 10. 1, 3, 6, 9, 10.
I'm too deep in this pick 4, and I know I'm not saying that my ticket's expensive. Homonyms are confusing, and no, I mean the number 2. I have 2 horses in this race. The 3 Iraqis, we've all talked about to an extent. Ultimately, I like this horse because a lot of the horses in this race tend to have speed, but then the caveat to that speed is it stops before the race is over. And Iraqis is the kind of horse who likes to sit up close, and as soon as the race goes bye-bye, he comes flying into the mix to potentially win by sliding up the inside. He could definitely get that setup this time around, considering, as Rod said, this is a weaker bunch for this numbers of $12,000 level, and the fact that not many of them can sustain speed, or some of them prefer to stalk and such. It could set up for Iraqis to have the race come back to him, and then he can go on to victory lane. Fashion Creditor, though, is the horse I feel to beat in this race. He adds Lasix for his first start since December. He has a ton of back class racing, decently against the open class at Dover towards the end of the season, and then he had that second place finish at Philadelphia before calling it quits for 2018. Coming into this race, has a decent qualifier, finishing 4th, coming in with 27 and change. The addition of Lasix, though, is definitely among the better reasons to take this horse, as well as the fact that Fanning horses coming back have been racing pretty well. Do Your Job, who didn't really have a great debut, came back really well earlier tonight to finish 4th. Sure, it's not to win, but I mean, trip considering, it was a decent effort. Fashion Creditor could follow in line with that Barnes momentum. The only other horse I think about throwing on, because my ticket's so cheap, as Rob was talking about, was the 6 Osvaldo Blue Chip. I wrote about this horse on my analysis over at NAHUPicks.com. That's NAHUPICKS.com. And my one qualm is the fact that he would have to bounce back off of that effort to that form he showed on December 27th when he was second at 72 to 1. It was a great mile. If he's put into that similar spot, he might be able to respond in the same way. The difference is that last effort was incredibly lackluster, and he would have to make a big improvement moving to the bigger track. Admittedly, he's also dropping in class, so that could also play to his advantage. But nonetheless, he is also a long shot factor that I thought about throwing onto my ticket, but ultimately, I think the race goes through either the 3 or the 4. That brings us to the second leg. It's the 9th race. Filly and Mare Conditioned Pace, Hours of 8,500 their last 5 starts. You get 1, 2, 4, 10 more horses going postward. You get full fields at the Meadowlands. What do you expect, guys? Especially with the state government injecting those purse monies into the races. Oh, it's just masterpiece fields coming together. And in this race, it's the favorites to me. But Mike, somehow you found 5 horses to use in this race.
Yeah, I think it's wide open again. The inside they're worth using. The one Vintage Babe comes from Yonkers. Draws well now. Raced well 2 and 3 back. Wide trip last time, no chance. I think that at this class, this horse fits. Was racing Hours of 20,000 there not that long ago. The 2 Stylish Beachwear, 2 wide trips, now moves inside. This barn's going better recently. Gets Tetrick now, too. I think that's a positive. The 3, Follow the Wind. Osceola again, won last time, steps up. With this inside post, if this horse can kick that way again, and that was a fast race last time, I think, is going to be a better price than that morning line indicates. The 8, Just a Cowgirl, that's a bad morning line on this horse. This horse has a lot of back class, won 7 times last year, 112,000. Just hasn't been able to really, click so far this year. But as a horse that's been at this level more than some of the others here, and I think fits from a class standpoint, you're going to get a price, but not 15. I would think probably 7 or 8. And then the 10, Narcy and Joel drops some numbers of 11.5. Has been drawing wide, but has been live enough late in the races that any kind of setup at all, and this horse has a chance. So 1, 2, 3, and then 8, 10.
Rod, those numbers sound incredibly similar to yours.
Very similar. I'm a little bit more shallow here than Mike, but we're on the same page. The 1, Vintage Babe, comes over from Yonkers, draws the rail. Eric Carlson jumps on. Yannick had to take off to drive Burke horse. That's just what he does. He drives for Burke. So, from the rail, I think this horse is going to sit up close and is a definite long shot play here. The 2, Stylish Beachwear, a must play. Timmy Tetrick jumps on. You get a huge post shift from the last 3 starts. Maybe a little bit cheap, but has been racing well, and I like that. I'm going to use the form here. The 3, Follow the Wind. Another one coming off a very good win in that quick race, like Mike mentioned. Not a big winning type of horse, but this horse plays and should be up close once again. And then the 8, Juxta Cowgirl. This is my top pick in the race, actually. Last week, Dexter Dunn came up the inside, had nowhere to go, kind of got locked down inside. I believe Yannick was on the lead there. Somebody was on the lead. I can't remember, but whoever was on the lead was drifting out and then kind of jammed Dexter Dunn down on the rail. He had nowhere to go with this horse last week. So Corey Callahan jumps back on. I think that form from last week and even 2 weeks ago, that start I thought was pretty good. You're going to get good value here. Must play for me. My top pick in the race is the 8. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 8 here.
I'm too deep, and I already addressed all of the confusion about the whole too deep, not too deep, and how that's the question. Not to get Shakespearean on all of you, however, I know I am much ado about nothing from time to time. I use the 2, Stylish Beachwear, to start things off. She seems to have a lot of ability, except it doesn't work for her ever. Maybe now she finally gets an inside draw. Last time she had an inside draw was back on, February 8th of 2019, being the current year that is now. Otherwise, against Hours of 5,000, she's been racing from outside spots. More recently, she bumped up to this level last out, where from post 8, she just kind of got off the gate, parked the entire mile, and showed a little bit of, showed a decent kick late to finish 5th. Maybe with the post switch, she's a bit better this time around. She has the capability to win. It's just how on earth does she map out the trip to get there? That's ultimately the question. Follow the Wind, however, all she has to do is just gun, get the pocket, and win. That's There's no reason she shouldn't leave the gate. There's no reason she shouldn't go to the lead, let someone clear, and then she just sits pocket, pops, and wins, because that's what she did last out. She should go and repeat that because that's her preferred racing style. She races best when other people do the work for her. So it makes no sense to try and race otherwise. I'm 2-3 in that leg being the second leg. We'll continue our analysis of the Pick4 the Meadowlands with the final two legs. After the second leg, lots of numbers, I know, just stay with me. Second leg of the Pick4 at London coming up in 1 minute 40 seconds. Now 1 minute 39. It's a countdown clock. I could be here for the next 2 minutes just reading it. Current favorite at 7-2, 3-1 actually. The 2, Cemetery Oaks. Co-favorite now on the board, also 3-1. The 4, Time for Wine, and we have a horse also at 7-2. Now 7-2 on the 2. Odds are changing quickly. 4, Time for Wine's the favorite. In this leg, I'm alive to the 1 and the 2. Mike has the 1, 2, and 3. Rod has the 1, 3, or 1, 2, and 6.
Yes.
Now, boys, you seeing any value on the board right now? With a minute to go?
The 1 maybe.
Yeah, the 1's 5-1. I think is excellent value.
Yeah,
That is
I
good.
mean, the 5-1. I don't think this horse is going off 5-1. There's no way.
The question is, why is Time for Wine currently the favorite?
I don't know. I think somebody's playing with the tote board, to be honest, and they're going to bet the 1 heavy late.
I mean, the 4 at the very least has back class, has been racing not for a tag, but the qualifier isn't necessarily fantastic. It's all right, but 5-2, not really.
Yeah, I would never take 5-2 on that thing.
However, I saw a 1-2 exacta was paying $22, which isn't terrible. Oh hell yeah! Join
Game. Jesus, that's like a year ago.
It's post time at London.
Second leg of the Pick4. We're all
The
live.
NAHU
We're all
Pick4.
live.
Scratch the 7 Beach Cloud with 1 out in this 8-horse field. That leaves 7, but note the 7 is scratched. 5-2 favorite, the 4, Time for Wine. Second choice at 3-1, the 3, the Burn, who's now up to 7-2. Also at 7-2, the third choice, Cemetery Oaks. Field for the 8th at London. In line, in behind, in motion at the start, and now they're away with Cam's King kicking for the lead to the outside of him, Zoom Bayama, and Randy Cam pushes through 2 at the rail, so they're 3 wide around the first turn with Randy Cam taking the lead. Cam's King trying to sit the pocket. Cemetery Oaks going to yield into 3rd, leaving Zoom Bayama parked out 4th. Seymour Little then is away 5th out of Feel the Burn. Then Time for Wine, sent the favorite, currently trails this field in 7th, about 8.5 lengths off the leader. Randy Cam leading to the first quarter in 30-2. The margin 2.25 on Cam's King, chasing from 2nd. Cemetery Oaks then sits 3rd as they're midway around the far turn first time. Zoom Bayama remains in 4th, about 5 lengths from the top. Outer Flow beginning to develop. Cemetery Oaks the first to bite from 3rd. Marching up towards the leader, Randy Cam, is their half-mile bound. Cam's King now locked in the pocket on cover. Comes Zoom Bayama from 4th. Then a gap of about 2.5, 3 lengths to Seymour Little chasing from 5th. 6th still, Feel the Burn, now beginning to edge to the outside towards the rear with Time for Wine needing to get going soon as they clocked the half in 101 and 3. 31 and 1 second quarter as Randy Cam got that breather. Still leads by 2 in the backstretch. Cemetery Oaks trying to reel that one in, doing so ever so slightly. 3 high, Zoom Bayama gaining ground, now within a length of control as they go past 3 quarters. 3 wide and 130 and 4. 29-1 for that third quarter, and Randy Cam turns away Cemetery Oaks briefly, maintains a half-length advantage while Cam's King gains ground towards the inside, but Randy Cam's now left alone. Cemetery Oaks is only giving pursuit from second, Cam's King holding third. Randy Cam, though, takes them gate to wire in 2:01-4. All right, we all move on with Randy Cam bet down to 5-2 from 5-1.
I would agree with the track being even. I would say that is absolutely true.
Time for Wine, though, was the favorite, and I think was last.
I can understand. I mean, the one was by far the horse to beat in that race. I mean, we all said it before, and it's not like we're saying anything that we didn't say before, but that was a very odd bet race.
Without a doubt.
Tons of value on the one there.
Meanwhile, up top, pick winner at NAHUpicks.com. Sutton wins the preferred.
How do you get 2-1 on Sutton there after, the way he came back and the way he looked coming back and how easy he was? I mean, this horse was a freaking stone cold lock in this race.
That's a great question. I don't know who was second or third, but
Charlie was second. Third was the one.
The one was third. Okay, so that's a cold exact on NAHUpicks.com, but it's the second favorite over the first favorite. If it pays $20, I say that's valid.
You got 2-1 on a stakes horse against overnight horses.
Well, Trolley's technically a stakes horse.
He's not a stakes horse. He's been winning preferred races, but
he's a team bone and you know it.
Listen, it's not even close.
7-8-1-3. I was close to having the top four exact. The difference is instead of the one, I had the 6 for third. I knew Tag Up and Go could get up there. He's got Get Up and Go. But we're on to the third leg of this pick 4.
Well, before we start the third leg.
I get it.
Before we start the third leg of the Meadowlands pick 4, I wanted to take a time out while we've got a bunch of people watching right now. One of my good friends, Barry Langley, passed away this past week, and we want to send condolences to his family, his daughter, Lucy, and his entire family. Jordan Hanners has put in an order for a bunch of bracelets to benefit his daughter. They're $5 each, so if you want to get one, get a hold of me or Jordan. We'll work together on it. If you're at the Meadows, I believe Heather Wilder will have some there. Jordan has all the details. You can get in contact with her on Facebook. She said go ahead and do it. But if you want one of those, they're $5. You can see the image of what they look like, minus the text there. So that's what they look like if you're watching right now. I got it up on the feed. Again, if you want to jump in there, contact me or contact Jordan or Heather Wilder at the Meadows, and they'll hook you up. So now we can move back on to the third leg.
And for the people listening on the show, if you missed it, you can contact Jordan Hanners on Facebook to acquire some of these bracelets. All proceeds going to the family of Barry Langley, who, as Rod said, passed away unexpectedly earlier this week. Next leg of the pick 4 for us is the third. So if it starts at the 8th, it goes to the 9th. We're at the 10th. 10th is the third leg of this sequence. How many more numbers can I throw in there? Well, we got horses that we use in this ticket, in this 10th race. Mike and I are in agreement. Rod, though, why'd you have to throw Dover Donnie on here? What makes you think Dover Donnie is capable of beating Chief Justice and or Godspell Hall?
Well, with Dover Donnie, I think it's Dover Donnie, actually.
Whatever.
I think you're getting the name wrong. Anyways, this horse came first over last week. He was a little bit flat, but he finished right there. He only got beat a length. 2 starts back, he was absolutely flying late. I needed him 2 starts back, big time. But, his form is good enough. He might be able to trip out here and and go buy these things late, especially if they go quick up front, which is very possible. Hammer Creek could leave here. He's kind of the one that might mess the whole race up, to be honest with you. The 4, Max Volo, is probably going to go. The 3, Godspell Hall, is going to go. So, and even Chief Justice can scat off the gate a little bit when he wants to. So, there's enough speed that I think the setup might work out for Doverdoni. You know, he's just got to get in the right spot in this race, and I think he's capable of beating these horses. We'll see. But, again, to me, it's the same 3 horses that were 1, 2, 3 last week, the 1, 3, and 7.
No, Mike, tell Rod why it's just the 1, the 3.
I don't really like the 7 because he's won for his last 25. He got a stone cold perfect drive on February 8th whenever he won the race. You know, he's racing well enough, but he just finds ways to lose. And, you know, you could say that too for the 1, but the 1 is Burke and Gingras got the rail. You know, probably should have won last time and just missed. You know, just got run down late. And the 3 is very obvious in the race. I mean, you know, kicked 27 and 1 off a qualifier. I would expect a more aggressive drive tonight. You have top connections. That's the horse to beat. I'm just 1-3 there.
The one thing to note about Chief Justice's race last out, though, sure, he probably should have won, but at the same time, he made that break the start prior, so just judging by the line, they were probably taking it a bit easy on him to make sure he could get around the track and such.
And he's capable of that, too. I mean, he's 2 for 30 for a reason, because he can, half the time, never stay flat.
But if he does stay flat, then woe a daisy, we'll be running to the Shake Shack. 11th race is then the final leg of the Pick4. If you couldn't tell, I'm 1-3 in that leg also. The final leg is everyone's favorite class, the $7,500 claimer, going for a purse of $6,500. 10 horses going post here. And Mike, to start things off with you got 3 horses with your interest.
Very difficult race. I like the 2, Justin Verlander. Really didn't get much of a drive last time at 30 to 1 and still ended up 3rd. Draws much better. You know, again, he's going to sit and hope to get shake loose late, but capable off a trip. That 5 to 1 morning line there's no way. He's 10 to 1 plus in the race, and he's probably going to be higher in the Pick4's. The 6, Buckeye in Charge. This horse gets away from the 10 hole to the 6 hole, gets Eric Carlson in the bike. You know, 1-3 back from the 7 hole at a huge number. You know, this horse just finds a way to, you know, to be in the mix. You know, he doesn't really like to win all that much, but especially the last 2 years, I just, the driver change and things are just too hard to resist for me. And then the 8, Code Word, this horse has made over $1 million, 3rd back. Those are decent races at Saratoga. Callahan is on big track now. I'm using 268.
Oh, Rod, judging by your numbers, no Code Word. What are you, stupid?
No.
Okay. That was not really relevant to the question. It was burning on my mind for a while. But 2-6, please explain.
Yeah, I'm 2-6 here. The 2, Justin Verlander. I loved the last race. He sat in the back, had no chance to win. His last 3 have been like that, where he's just been too far back to win the race. He draws better tonight. He's going to be closer. He doesn't really win a lot, which is a little concerning, but he should be in a pretty good spot here with a lot of early speed, including the horse I almost singled, the 6, Buckeye in Charge, with the 14-second driver change. You know, this horse, he's an old class horse, number 1.
14-second driver changes, which is always crap. Those horses never win.
14 seconds, mind you, make this horse the fastest horse in history.
Well, I mean, it's a big driver change, let's be honest.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But he's a horse that he could just run off the screen.
You talked me into the horse like this, almost identical situation, and I still think that he was racing like on Sunday 3 weeks ago because that's how bad it was.
I just want to say you gotta give a driver, you gotta give the horse credit because a driver with the last name Polio managed to get this horse walking. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. I did it.
Oh boy. Don't come for the jokes, people, please.
All right, please explain to us the 20-second driver change. Or are you done? Is that all you have to say?
No, that's the only reason I'm using the horse.
Okay, it should be, because I mean I admittedly threw on the horse too because I see Eric jumped on, but I think the horse is racing well anyway. The only difference is maybe because Eric is a regular driver, he'll drive the race better. I don't know. It's such a subjective angle. Like Mike was driving the horse fine. It's the question of whether the horse has enough horse or not. I can't answer that. You just have to race him to find out. I take two more horses though aside from Buckeye in charge. I throw on the 5 about the Benjamins purely because he could just blast off the gate and be in the right spot at the right time because this field is terrible. And this horse at least has speed. If you have speed, you're at least going to be up in contention. And then all the other horses have to pass you. The one little issue is that the horses have been passing about the Benjamins. So that just has to not happen for him to win. When you put it that way, it seems pretty straightforward. But then Codeword, I really feel is the horse to beat in this race. He was racing decently back when at this level in December. Mind you, he was up against some better horses at the $7,500 level. Horses like Spanish Art and Ideal Candidate race up at the $10,000 ranks now, I think. They're racing for better because they're better horses. And so Codeword now makes his third start off the bench. His 2 miles at Saratoga are superb. And so only moving to the bigger track, which he's done well on in the past, can only play to his advantage. So I'm 5-6-8 in the last leg of the Pick4's makes. My ticket goes as follows for 50 cents. I'm 3-4 with 2-3 with 1-3. 5-6-8. That's $12 for 50 cents. Mike, your ticket.
1 through 5 in the first leg. 1, 2, 3, 8, 10 with 1, 3 with 2, 6, 8. It's 75 big ones for 50 cents.
And Rodney.
1, 3, 6, 9, 10 with 1, 2, 3, 8 with 1, 3, 7 with 2, 6. It's $60.
I'm keeping an eye on both tracks. They're coming onto the track at London. The Meadowlands, they haven't even started. I opened up Los Alamitos for no reason because, well, it's because the Meadowlands is right there. And they aren't even parading at the Meadowlands yet. So my guess,
London will go first.
That you beat me to guessing it, so now it just seems like I'm piggybacking off you. Let me have this one.
Maybe it's a good time to go to a break. What do you think?
Why would we go? Oh, but then what if the break runs over the race?
Well, don't let it.
You got to think about these.
You're in control.
I am in control, and I know London's going to be going in approximately like 3 or 4 minutes because they score down very quickly.
Okay, well then I guess we'll wait 10 minutes to do the break because you're going to have to wait for the other race to go then.
Yeah!
Why can't you have Rod's enthusiasm? He has my back. He trusts me. Democracy's on the track right now. Democracy is dead. We live in an autocracy. And I love it. There's Black Vinny. That just feels like a mobster name. That just made me laugh. Black Vinny's on the track at London. And then we got Blue Moose, who's currently 5-2. 2-1 favorite to the inside, though. The one horse, of course, as we all know, is Howmack Diamond. Don't we feel that maybe 2-1 is a bit high for this horse? First off the claim, who's now 7-1. They have no idea what's going on. It went from 2-1 to 7-1 in one click and one.
I told you somebody's messing with the board up there tonight. But I mean, you get Coulter, you get the rail, but last week when this horse was moving, he was chasing. I mean, he was chasing pretty hard down the backside, and the horse just kind of took off running. It wasn't like he took a bad step and then ran. He just took off running. I'm not real sure what happened there. I don't want to say I'm afraid of the horse, but I don't trust him off of that break there. So it was hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to use him.
It's hard for me to understand who's going to be the favorite. He was 7-1, then 6-5. Now he's 7-5. I'd be betting the 2 at 11-1.
The thing about the 1 is he's faster than these horses, but can he handle this racetrack is my question. I mean, because there was a couple races at Woodbine that he raced extremely well, but he races in spots. That's the thing about him, and he can't really do that in this race. I mean,
And now he's 9-1. What the hell is going on here?
somebody's messing around up there, like Rod said.
I told you.
I bet. Now the fact that Sly Baron's going down, I don't think he's going to be a price I even want, so I got to go cancel my bet now.
Just got word from Sugar Doyle. There's $735 live from 82.41 in the pool.
That's actually not too bad considering. I mean, those were two very logical horses, first two legs.
I'm just confused on how that many people could be out. Like you said, those weren't hard horses to have. But then again, the 4 was the favorite in the last race, so I'm not necessarily sure what the bettors are thinking.
What were the odds on the winner?
Really Pick4 there paid $8,500 for 20 cents.
Well, keep in mind there was a $40 horse. Wait, no, it was a $20 horse. There were a couple prices there.
There was
regardless, I mean, that's a huge ticket for that place. That's a pool.
That was a pool shot in the early Pick4. It was 24-1, 16-1, 3-1, I believe.
And meanwhile, we've had an 8-5 and a 5-2. And 90% of the pool's already out, essentially. Yeah. And for some reason,
up there though. I mean, they've been. Rod can attest to this.
I don't know why. I just sounded like Jesse Eisenberg there. Okay, now there's 0 seconds to go. I'm gonna bite again on Sly Baron, hoping he doesn't click down to 3-5.
So what?
Huh?
You bet Sly Baron here?
Yes. 7-1 I think is an okay price. The way he was dropping, I thought it would be like 3-1 at the gate, and I don't want 3-1 on that.
I agree. 7-1's great value.
As Rasmus is currently on the board at 9-5, there you see him trying to get his pretty little nostrils on the gate. To the outside of him, Black Vinny. As the rest of the horses are now catching up. If they're catching up, where's the mustard? 9th race from London. 9-5 favorite, the 3 Rasmus, 5-2, third choice Blue Moose, second choice the 1 Halmac Diamond at 2. Field is in motion at the start. Now they're away with Democracy trying to blast out for the lead. Rasmus quicker to his inside, and Rasmus gets to the rail before Democracy, leaving that one to opt for the pocket, rounding that first turn. Halmac Diamond is not in third, rather Sly Baron away third from Black Vinny in fourth. Puddin' Pie circles around Halmac Diamond to take fifth. That leaves towards the back of the pack Blue Moose and Ryan Klein. That's the field of 8 past the first quarter in 28-3. Rasmus sets the terms, the marginal length and a quarter on Democracy from second. Sly Baron now pulls from third for Henry, supplying cover to Black Vinny. Now in fourth, sliding up the inside around the turn comes Ray and Puddin' Pie on cover then. Not Blue Moose. Blue Moose, yes, on cover. Third over as they go on past the half. The color's blinding, but Sly Baron has a half length up on Rasmus. The tempo's still semi-quick. 58-4 halftime. 30-1 second quarter, swinging into the backstretch once more. On circuit 2, Rasmus remains the one to catch. Leads by a length as Sly Baron still applies minor pressure to the outside. Black Vinny spins 3 high. Blue Moose is 4 high now with 2.5 lengths to make up. Locked into the inside. Democracy behind that one. Puddin' Pie with Ryan Klein. Splitting horses now moving 3 wide from the back of the pack. The story's still told by Rasmus. He's past 3 quarters in 1:27-4, 29 second third quarter, and he's kicking away. Rasmus revved up here into the stretch, leads by 3.5 as Black Vinny's trying to hold second from Blue Moose to the center of the track, but it's still Rasmus, and it's only Rasmus roaring here to the wire to win by 3 in the end. Blue Moose did take second from Black Vinny with Puddin' Pie up for fourth, 1:57-4 the final time.
Baby.
All right, another favorite, 6-5 there on Rasmus, which can only mean $20 is live in the Pick4. That's my guess.
No, you're getting a couple hundred. Still
One was
live.
nowhere again. You got to get that horse on a big track. That's just...
Yeah. And meanwhile, they're going to the gate at the Meadowlands, 9-5 favorite. The 3 Iraqis. Or Arrakis. Probably Arrakis.
Arrakis.
It's Arrakis. Fashion Creditor, good value here, 7-1. The 1's getting bet too here.
Shady McCoy at 9. So the favorite here, 9-5. The 3 Arrakis. Wealkis. 7-2 on the 10. Now's the moment. Third choice at 6-1. The 2 Attaboy Hanover. Scratch down to a field of 9. Kickoff leg of the pick 4. It's the 8th. In motion, approaching the start. Now they're off and trotting. Battle Mage leaving as expected with Osvaldo Blue Chip also showing speed far outside. Now's the moment. Widest of all in the 6th path around the first turn as Attaboy Hanover cuts the corner to get away towards the rail. Meanwhile, now's the moment. Swoops up to take command as Arrakis tries to get it around Attaboy Hanover to move into the 2nd spot. Battle Mage tucks into 4th. Out of Shady McCoy 5th. Back to Fashion Creditor in 6th. With Zlatan to the inside. 7th of Lassa Did a Lady. Tucking in towards the back of the pack. Heading to the opening quarter in 27-1. Down the back stretch. Now's the moment. Leads here by a length and a quarter. Arrakis still sits 2nd with Attaboy Hanover 3rd and Battle Mage back in 4th. Sitting 5th then Shady McCoy waiting for motion as Fashion Creditor tries to flush cover behind him. They're then back to Zlatan with Osvaldo Blue Chip 2nd to last. Lassa Did a Lady the trailer. As they go past the half in 56-4, 29-3, 2nd quarter. Now's the moment, seizing it currently as they enter the far turn. Out from 4th, Battle Mage, gaining ground up to be 3rd and ranging up towards the leaders, beginning to gain separation. Now's the moment, leads Arrakis by 2.5. Battle Mage is moving up to be 2nd from Attaboy Hanover, moving off the rail. Arrakis tries to fight back towards the inside with Fashion Creditor gapping cover to Shady McCoy, then to the inside. Now's the moment, though, the 1 to catch in 125-3. He's still 2 in front, drifting a touch, though. Arrakis slides up the inside, deeper on the track, now unwoven. Here's Fashion Creditor, kicking by them all. Fashion Creditor cashing in here as Zlatan rallies for 2nd. The rest of them fight for 3rd, but Fashion Creditor blew him away in the stretch to win in 154-1. All right, top pick winner at NAHUpicks.com.
You can bet the 2 back for as much as you want last time off that drive. No clue what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just unbelievable. That horse was doubled up terrible in the stretch. Watch that back.
I don't know why I used the phrase unwoven. I couldn't think of the proper phrase.
I don't know why I changed my ticket.
I don't know.
I don't know why you used the 10 in the race. I mean, that's, if you watched the last 2.
I mean, Picks.com, you would have known that Fashion Creditor was the horse to beat. And I'm alive. Mike's alive. Rod, we all knew you were debatably alive. You're so stoic that it. Sometimes you just gotta poke the bear to see if it jumps. Catch my drift. Did you catch my driftwood? I sent it downstream a while ago.
No.
4-5 in the first leg of the pick 4 at the Meadowlands. My $12 baby regresses. Mike's $75 behemoth. The classic David versus Goliath story.
I like my chances.
Unfortunately, Mike, you have the role of Goliath.
That's fine. I'll take Goliath 90% of the time. Once in a while, David will get lucky, but...
Not sure if you've read the Old Testament.
Yeah.
It is a bit dated, I'll give you that. Doesn't really look good, but... I get what you're saying. Now, Abraham's real messed up. He tried to kill his kid for God. I can't get away with that. We're going to go to break. We come back. Abraham's not going to join us. He's up on the mound for some reason. Took his kid up there with him. It's nighttime, too. Wonder what he's trying to do up there. We're going to have more Pick 4 action from London as we're all alive in that sequence to a potential...
$107,000 betting that Meadowlands Pick 4. That's pretty sweet.
The Meadowlands has been handling very well, and I'm glad to see that they're on the bounce back. Tonight could be a $3 million. Could it be a $3 million handle night?
They did it the other night.
They did do it. They did.
Of course, Yonkers canceled. That didn't hurt them.
That, without a doubt, Yonkers is racing tonight, so they should at least handle decently. As again, I can't emphasize this enough. Top pick winner, Fashion Creditor, enters the winner's circle, and we're gonna enter the break circle. So get your beverages, empty your fluids, grab a snack, take a nap, but wake up in a couple of minutes because we're gonna be back with more North American update on the only place you trust, the internet. But first,